As we mentioned, Ottawa and Beijing have reached an agreement that reduces tariffs on products like Canadian canola and Chinese electric vehicles. The move on EVs is one the auto industry in Ontario is not happy about. Let's go to Flavio Volpe, president of the Automotive Parts Manufacturers Association. He joins us now. Flavio, what is your biggest concern about this tariff reduction on Chinese EVs?
Well, just remember that we asked for the tariffs to be put in a couple of years ago as the Chinese manufacturers and Western manufacturers using Chinese factories started to encroach rather quickly into Western markets. We'd made a series of investments in this country that we needed some time to bear some fruit. And so we got those tariffs successfully put in here, U.S. and Mexico. Now, the Chinese retaliated, of course, by attacking other sectors of the Canadian economy. And we understand that the Prime Minister, of course, has a responsibility for the entire country. But today we gave up 3% of the market here on the promise, perhaps, that the Chinese may invest here, reviewable over 3 years. Today's a good day for those agricultural sectors. We've restored their some of their market access to $3 billion worth of exports, but those 49,000 cars are worth about $2 or $3 billion here. So we paid a price here. We're working together with the government on other measures. We have to remain vigilant that this doesn't become a permanent foothold that expands through the market like it did in Europe and put all those local manufacturers on the back foot.
Okay, so talk to me a little bit more about how expensive these cars will be. Will they be a less expensive option for Canadians? How do they compare?
They could be, but right now, to sell a vehicle in Canada, you have to meet the Transport Canada safety standard that only Teslas made in the Shanghai factory or some Volvos and Polestar vehicles are available. So in that first year, that quota will be the same vehicles that Canadians wanted from Tesla, but out of Shanghai. There are other vehicles, ones that BYD makes, the Seal, the Dolphin. These are $12,000 and $15,000 vehicles from the factory gate in Shanghai. To meet Canadian safety standards, those will be a little higher. It might take 12 months or so. And Canadians who want a discretionary purchase like this, who don't care whether they were made by or displaced a Canadian worker on healthy wages, or comes at the expense of Canadian capital that is invested in manufacturing here at the cost of their ROI, they can fill their boots.
Okay. There is a limit on how many will be able to come to Canada. Does this limit the damage to the industry? And you mentioned the concern that this sort of gets cracked open a lot wider.
Look, the cap is important, and I do appreciate that that was a guardrail that was negotiated, and the fact that there's a 3-year review. And so it does limit the exposure of the industry to potential damage, but we also have to be very serious about that. We have to be vigilant. Yes, of course, they're trying to use the opportunity to address an affordability challenge for EVs. But I also said, look, do you have a minimum price? Because if you don't have a minimum price and you're not very clear on that it's got to achieve the Canadian safety standards. I remember there was a time in this country not too long ago when we used to make the most popular transformative smartphone in the world, or we also had the best enterprise software and hardware companies in the world. But we lost Nortel to Huawei, and we lost Research in Motion, BlackBerry, to Foxconn and everything else. And there is a price to pay for buying things cheap.
Okay. You mentioned that the tariffs were wanted from the industry so that the Canadian industry for EVs could be bolstered or supported. How much progress has been made there?
Well, look, the tariffs were put in place at a time when we had just made major investments in the EV manufacturing sector and in the supply chain, hoping to access the U.S. market. And we always said the tariffs were a temporary measure that would help that fruit grow on a vine. I always thought it would be 3 or 4 years of protection. We've burned a year fighting with the White House. The caution on the Chinese is at the heart of it is healthy economies around the world have healthy, intricate manufacturing clusters that pull together hardware, software, raw materials, skilled workers, and traditional metals and plastics businesses. If you lose that and you're just a service industry or a service economy and a finance economy, you are vulnerable when we have crises, like when we needed things during the pandemic, and also this new world where everybody's new national security posture is prepare for war.
Okay, so you talked about the fact that the tariff was in place to allow the growth or support to really come forward in basically Ontario's manufacturing sector. Where are we in that sector? How do EVs compete, or Canadian-made EVs compete now generally?
Well, where we are in that sector is that Donald Trump got elected 14 months ago and said, we're going to remove any incentive for the U.S. market for purchase of electric vehicles. We're going to put tariffs on Canadian parts, raw materials, and vehicles. Now, we've managed to negotiate an exemption to the tariff on parts. He also said we're going to remove any production assistance for any of the companies in our region for parts, batteries, and vehicles. And of course, that triggered a couple of clauses here in Canada. So we are nowhere. We make some electric vehicles in Windsor plant, the Stellantis company does, and a lot of hybrids from Toyota and Honda, but we're nowhere. But I think the finer point is, it isn't just about electric vehicles. The Chinese chosen path for the 6 million vehicles that they export around the world, by the way, we only buy 2 million here, so they have 6 million in exports, is cheap electric vehicles. So you have to make your defense on the electric side, because you want to defend against the Chinese oversupply. If it's just on vehicles themselves, the Chinese aren't interested in selling us internal combustion engine vehicles. They flood secondary markets and the global south with those vehicles.
Interesting. All right, Flavio, I do have to leave it there. I'm out of time, but thank you for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Marilla.